Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
I've been kind of struggling with this question. It's more of a family matter than mine personally, but I'm really looking to get your insight on it. So we had estranged family members for like the last 15 years that recently reached out within the last 2 weeks because one of them passed away and the other needs financial support, but they're not explicitly looking for it. So basically what it looks like is the relation to me is that my grandmother passed away and my uncle had been living with my grandmother, and it was just the two of them for the last period of time. And my uncle basically had no job. So they were living off of her Social Security and her life insurance that we found after she passed. And essentially there's nothing left. And he's dropping hints to us as the family saying, well, I don't know how I'm going to make these payments. I don't know where my grocery bills are coming from. He's not explicitly asking for things, but it's the way that he's phrasing things that is making us concerned that he's looking to us to be his savior.
I wouldn't be concerned at all. Because I know how I know how he can get his groceries paid for. He can get a job. Ta-da.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, he says that he can get a job. He's not sure that he's going to be working because he does have a health condition
What is
that
it?
is prohibiting him. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know all of the details on exactly what it is. I personally don't even believe that it is a health condition. I think he's just trying to use it as a guilt trip.
Exactly.
But that's my personal view on that. I don't have the facts.
You're probably right.
But
yeah. So let me ask you this. Why are you letting this person you haven't talked to in 15 years suddenly have a voice at your kitchen table about your integrity, your character, what you do next? Why are you giving him a voice?
It's a moral issue. I always want to try and be the best that you can be, right? And so I see this person that needs help because they were honestly just poor planners. They put themselves in this position, and I get that. But I'm also kind of the person that's well, I do have a little bit that I could contribute towards this.
What would you?
But I don't want to.
What would that be?
Yeah, I don't.
What would that be if you did help him? What would that look like?
It would probably look like, maybe I can give you so much money towards her burial or something like that because they're struggling even to come up with funds for that.
Okay. Listen, if you wanted to, this is grandma, right? That we're talking about. If you wanted to help, grandma's funeral costs, I think that's fine. I don't, that part I don't have an issue with, but Uncle Boo Boo is the one that I'm okay, what would it look like for you to help him? In your mind, if you thought, this is my job to step up and help him, what would that have been? Or what would that be in your mind's eye?
I think what I'm looking for would be just knowing that I didn't just leave him and that he's just withering away with nothing.
No, but he hasn't even asked you.
No, he hasn't. And I guess that's kind of where part of my struggle is coming from, too, is that he's not asking for it, but I think he's too proud to ask for help.
Well,
but I think he needs it, and I don't know another direction to point him in.
How old is he?
He's probably, I want to say 62.
Where's your parents? Where's your mom or dad?
They're right there with him, and they're trying to kind of keep distance as well. They don't want to be the ones that are saving him either, but I think they're looking at, and they're asking the same question. What is our obligation? What should we be doing as Christians? What should we be doing just as family members? I mean, to me, he truly is a stranger, but even a stranger on the street, I'd like to assume I would help.
Yeah, there's two things that are going through my mind here. Number one, I would take my cues from a struggling uncle's brother and sister. That would be number one. So I would look to my mom and dad because they're going to know, or whoever he's related to, they're going to know better than I do.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
The second thing is I am all about helping and supporting and walking alongside and being there for the people on the margins in our world. I also have been humbled dramatically over the last 20 years because of my arrogance and my savior syndrome.
Okay.
And so when you see somebody that you in your head tell yourself a story that he needs this, this, and this, and I could be the person to come, that's less about Christian value, and that's more about you in a weird way using him to make yourself feel whole and okay. He hasn't asked you for help. He hasn't said, we need your help. He's done some passive-aggressive dribbling of things here and there. And I would leave that to my mom or my dad, his brother or his sister, to step in and say, hey, man, what do you actually need? Like, let them have that communication together. And maybe if I was in your case, I'd probably reach out to my dad or to my mom, whoever's closest, and say, hey, we're in a position where we could contribute $500 or $1,000 to the funeral if y'all need that. And I'd go that way instead of going to basically a stranger, a guy who opted out of his niece's life for a decade and a half before I need to go in there and feel like I need to save the situation. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense.
There's also an issue of this just on the financial side of it, that the reason I was asking you before, what would that look like, is because sometimes we get in moments where like, oh God, if I'm going to help them and what we're trying to help them do is really not sustainable in long run, it's not helping at all. Like if the issue is he doesn't have income coming in and he's not looking to get income coming in, you stepping in and paying an electric bill 1 month long term is not really a sustainable thing. So it's like, okay, what can we do? What would it look like to help in a real way that's long term? Well, that's probably going to help him find options for him to work, right? So just reframing, if you did want to help, what that help would be. It might not actually be financially, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think that makes a lot of sense. I think that's kind of what I was kind of sitting on, but I was really debating because like I feel sorry for him because of the situation that he put himself in.
Right.
And that's what I'm struggling with. Like he did it to himself, but I can help sometimes, but I don't want to help all the time. Like you said, I don't want this to be a long-term thing because as he so nicely put, he did opt out.
Yeah.
So it is kind of like this struggle, which is why I'm so blessed to be speaking with both of you today, because it's just such an internal struggle for me.
Yeah.
I would work through my parents, and just know that feeling uncomfortable does not mean your decision is wrong.
That's right.
Thank you.
If you're a person of compassion, like hopefully all of us are, anybody who's hurting, and we'll go one step further. Okay, so we'll help out here, Emily. Hang on the line. We're going to send you an electronic version of Financial Peace University. If the call ever comes that, hey, I need some help with some of this stuff, you can say, hey, we got you. I'll send you Financial Peace University, Uncle, for free. And here's all 9 lessons, and it's going to walk you step by step how to take control of your financial future.
That's
and
great.
that way you're giving him a fishing rod and some bait and a place to fish. But he's going to have to bait the hook and actually throw the line in the water. Thanks for the call. We'll be right back.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.